Hey guys, Otto here from Acquisition Partner. In this video, what I'm going to do is show you something that's incredibly timely. So for anybody that runs an agency where you have e-commerce clients, you're going to want to implement this right away, absolutely right now before it's too late. And exactly what I'm going to do is show you how to increase your monthly retainers by 100%. Okay, so if you're charging $2,500 per month for your standard agency retainer, I'm going to show you how you can easily and simply double that with the existing clients that you have already got. Okay, and the way that we're going to do this is by using a little bit of pricing psychology and the psychology of consumption here, and a relationship between pricing and consumption and how it relates to the amount that you're able to actually bill your clients on a monthly basis. Okay, so something that really opened my eyes to billing more with our clients, and I guess the sort of power of the relationship between consumption and pricing, was that when I first started the email marketing agency, say we were charging $2,500 for a given scope for each individual client, we noticed that when we came into key sale months like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, and Christmas Day, and also January sales, that the volume of work that we were actually going to have to do in those three key sale months there, or from November, December, January, over those 3 months, was actually going to be double the amount of work that we were already doing for the client. Not least over that period of time, if you're working with an e-commerce brand, you're going to know that those 3 months in the year are arguably the biggest months of operating for that business in terms of sales and sales volumes. So if you're an agency and you're working with those clients, you want to show those clients that you actually understand their industry and their business, and that you're anticipating the increase in volume and of work that's going to have to take place over the next few months to actually make it a success. Now I'm going to just jump over into my calendar here. I've taken off of all of my team's calendars here, so we've got a blank run here. But what you're going to see is that we are in August. Okay, so we're August 21st, and believe it or not, November is actually not that far away. Okay, so Black Friday is in November, December is obviously Christmas, and then January is your January sale. Okay, so three key events for anybody that's working with an e-commerce brand there. Okay, and being in August, you might think we're incredibly early to start thinking about this, but if you have an e-com agency and you're actually working with those types of clients, you're going to know that Black Friday and Christmas and January is already a topic of discussion for them, despite being in a different quarter of the year. Okay, so it's a big event here, and there's a lot of anticipation, and from a strategic point of view, a lot of work goes into planning for the most successful, key 3-month sale event in the year for e-commerce brands, regardless of the vertical or what they are selling. All right, and what I want to show you here is just using this simple pricing box. It's how we were able to double our agency retainers in our e-commerce email agency by utilizing this strategy. Okay, so initially charging $2,500 on a 90-day basis, for example, for each client. Within that, we had a set scope. Now, what we got here is the client at present and the client in the future. Okay, so it's the same client, just two different models, versions of the same person or business. And what we're going to see here is that right now we are charging for our current offer $2,500, but we know we've got these key sale events coming up. We want to get the most results for the client, and we obviously want an excuse and a reason in order to double our retainer amounts, and therefore the revenue we're doing on a monthly basis through our agency. Okay, so for us, we were able to achieve this. It's a powerful increase in your rate. It's a 100% increase, a 2x multiple on what you are currently charging. But if you carry on charging this with your client, and you use Black Friday and these new upcoming sale events just as part of your current scope, you're not giving yourself any opportunity to grow and actually bill more. Okay, so what you can do using the frame of these sale events is sitting down with your client now in early August and in September and speaking to them to prepare them for the volume of work that's going to happen over the next few months. Okay, so if you are running an email agency, or you're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, whatever it might be, you want to speak with your client now about these months to tell them the level of work that you and your team are going to have to put in to make it a success. So what we're going to do here is carry on with our current scope. Okay, so you would have already had a scope that you are implementing for your client. Maybe that is projected into the next 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. And what you want to do is say to them, look, we need to keep deploying our scope. We need to keep matching our action items, ticking those off the list in order to actually achieve the initial strategy and guarantee that we put forward to you. But we do have these sale months coming up, and if you were in a 3-month 3-month or a 90-day contract or 6-month contract with those clients, and that contract is actually up to end, this is another great way to upsell them into a renewal too. Okay, so what you want to do here is say, look, I'm having this conversation with you as early as possible. You want to get in with them and have a face-to-face call, whatever it might be, hopefully before any of the other service providers that are working with them. So if they've got other agencies or freelancers or whatever, who are overrun and stressed, or, don't have the level of attention to detail that you do, you want to get in before to show that you are actually, considering their brand and holding them in the forefront of your mind in terms of the next few months and actually delivering and getting results for them. Okay, so they're going to see that in a really, sort of respectful and favourable way, which is going to make your pricing discussions a lot easier to navigate. Okay, and increasing your prices this way too is much easier if you've actually got results for the client. So if you're running, a really low service Facebook ads, offer, and you're charging them $500 a month and you're actually losing them time and money, then this is going to be something that's difficult to do, or impossible to do. It might be something that you can use to your advantage to say, look, I know we did this over the last few months, but actually Black Friday is a really big event for us, and we'd like to have another go at delivering this service or this offer for you. Okay, so and you can reprice whatever you're doing there appropriately. But just looping back to the pricing box. Okay, so what we want to do is we're building on the current offer, so we're not getting rid of it. We don't want to say to them, we'll cancel our current contract and we'll talk about building a big new contract for the upcoming months. You don't want to be out of contract with your current client. You want to keep it as business as normal. You just want to make sure that you are pitching them on an increased volume of service that you're actually delivering for them. Okay, so for in our case, it was very easy with an email marketing agency. We could introduce things like SMS. We could introduce a more volume of emails. Okay, so when you're leading up to Black Friday itself, you have the volume and the cadence of the emails that you're sending out to the list and your active profiles that are engaging with your client's e-com brand, or your e-com brand if you're watching this, if you have one. You're going to find that the physical volume of those emails increases dramatically, not just over Black Friday, but Christmas and January sale too. Okay, so what that means is more copywriting, more graphic design. Your variable costs within your agency are going to increase over this period, so it is a fair ask. Okay, and this is what we were able to do. We were basically able to say to them, look, if you... we can carry on as normal. We could do one email over Black Friday, whatever it might be, whatever we've currently got, but in order to position your brand, in a place for the maximum success over the next few months, not least in terms of placed orders and revenue, but actually the number of individuals we can bring on to your email list and the body of owned media that you have to date. What we need to do is actually increase the scope. Okay, and have that conversation with them up front. Use the next few months as a excuse to do that. Okay, this is going to be much harder to do in May or February or whatever it might be. It's going to be difficult after those periods of time. So what I recommend doing is getting on this now. If you run an e-commerce agency, speak to your client now. Be proactive. Do not be reactive. Don't wait for them to get in touch with you about this. Don't worry about it jeopardizing your current the current billing cycle that you're on. Make sure that you're preserving everything as is. Make sure that you're upfront and communicating really transparently with your clients. But have a conversation with them, be straight to the point and say, look, over the next 3 months, we want to absolutely over-deliver on what we're already doing. We've got these results to date, which we know you're happy with. And what we want to do is go balls to the wall in terms of your Black Friday, your Christmas and your January key sale event months. And in order to do that, we want to increase the volume of work that we are delivering for you guys. So for that reason, what we suggest is bumping up to 5K a month. What I suggest is we keep the current strategy and contract as it is. I will confirm in an email to you now. Hopefully you're going to say yes so that we can get on and do this straight away. I will just confirm that addition to the service in an email. There'll be no other contractual obligation, but it will run over the next 90 days. Sound fair to you? Okay, and get it closed, get it done. Following that psychological model of consumption and pricing, it's a lot easier to charge higher prices if your client or if an individual is already consuming your products and services. Okay, so like I say, guys, just a very quick piece of advice: get on it immediately now if you run an e-com agency, and let me know how you get on and whether you need any help. All right, hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch up in the next one. All right, cheers, guys. Bye.